begin this meeting at 7 o'clock. And I want to start by letting everyone know that we're being videotaped, so that everybody's aware. I want to thank everybody for coming and offer a time if anybody has any public comments that they would like to make.
I do. At a lot of these meetings, I've had a lot of people question why I'm here, and I'd like to introduce myself and give a little bit of an explanation as to why I'm here so that it's understood. My name is Amanda Cook. I have a daughter, Abigail, who's in first grade at Plum Cove, and a son, Sam, who will be entering kindergarten next year. I've lived in Gloucester my whole life, attended Gloucester Public Schools, and while I was in high school, I represented the high school student body to the school committee and served on the superintendent search committee. Gloucester is a city with limited resources. The schools have had to manage the combination of limited funding and high special education and free reduced lunch populations. When I first learned about this school, I was excited about the possibilities, but when I learned how the school is funded, I began to think about the implications of the school, which, by its own design, serves a very small number of Gloucester students. I'm here because my daughter loves her school. If the charter school continues, there's a great chance her school will close. There's a finite amount of money allocated for Gloucester schools. To draw so much for 70 students in a way that will harm the other 3,000 is unfair and unjust. I've been attending these meetings for a year now and will continue to do what I can to protect my daughter's school and the schools of the other 3,000 students in Gloucester. So as you're here, because you're protecting your kids' schools, I'm here protecting my kids' schools. And I just want that to be understood. Thank you for the chance.
I'll go next. My son is in 5th grade. I have 2 others, one in kindergarten and one in high school, all in Gloucester Public School Systems. Besides my one in 5th grade comes here. When we got the building occupancy permit to move in to the modulars, the day we got it, I got the MCAS scores for my son. In math and English language, both warnings. It's the 2nd year that he has got both warnings in both math and English language. He has never passed or even proficient on it. Since he has come here, he has passed almost every single test with at least a B, if not high C, in math and spelling. He comes home and he's happy. He's glad he's doing the homework almost without me by now. And when he was at his last school, he couldn't do that. He was coming home, he was crying. He was crying because he had to do his homework and he didn't understand it. He couldn't remember how to do it. He was crying because he didn't want to go to school, and now I don't have that at all. So I am also fighting for the school to stay open for my son because he definitely needs the self-esteem, the education that he's getting here that he wasn't getting at his previous school. And I don't want to see the other previous schools close either because I do have an investment in them also because, like I said, I have 2 other kids that attend them also. So that's what I was.
And this is also, it's about choice, and we have a choice of what we want for our children. And when we are given opportunity and status quo isn't good enough, then we have a right to make that choice. My child is in 6th grade, he goes to this school, he absolutely loves it, he comes home every day enriched and fulfilled and regaling me with stories upon stories. He's always been a very good student. I've been very, very, very lucky. And I have a child who is also in a district school, and he loves it there. The bottom line is, when my child was faced with going to O'Malley, I did not think that that was going to be the fit for him. And I was very, very fortunate to have had this choice, and this is the choice I've made. And I will do everything I can to keep this school open. That's what works for our family.
Anybody else?
I will. I also have a daughter in the charter school in 5th grade. I also have 2 children in high school in the school district. And although my daughter doesn't have really any learning issues, hers were more being emotionally pulled down from her past school that she was in. But since she's been here, She's completely different. She has high self-esteem. She doesn't cry not to go anymore. She wants to come to school, and she is completely different. Happy kid that she always used to be, that she was meant to be, is now her happy self again. So for that, thank you all.
I have a couple of things. A couple, can I say a couple? Is that all right?
There's no
Okay.
limit on the number.
Oh, good. First of all, it was made known to me recently that our school is ready to go, okay? We've been in these modules, they're great, they're fantastic for my child, for its purpose. We're waiting for an occupancy permit. They told us we will not get an occupancy permit until they get rid of these modulars. So in the meantime, where's my child gonna be educated? They're gonna be in the parking lot? What's up with that? We won't have a school if my kids, if they pull the modular, and then they're gonna say, we don't have a school because they haven't said okay to that school, they haven't approved it yet and gave us an occupancy permit.
Well,
What's up with that?
It seems very political to me. I mean, it seemed to me that if we move into that building, it looks like we're really a school, folks, and we really would be a school, and we really are a school. It doesn't really matter where we are. But to the outside view, we're in that building, it's a little harder to bump us off right now. That's how I see it.
And it's a great facility, I mean, if anybody's even seen it, it is
It's
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
You know, it's funny how, you know, I'm confused by this whole system and how we were put on probation and we've met every single criteria, but yet, except for one criteria, so far it seems that we have a stumbling block that we need to admit to wrongdoing, which it's kind of a gray area to me. It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe you guys could clarify it for me or something, because for us to sign saying that we did something wrong, when in actuality we feel that we didn't do anything wrong, why, for us to sign it, they're gonna say, okay, you admit to wrongdoing, and then that means we, you know, broke the law. We're agreeing that we broke the law. But yet, then when we go to the DESC, they're gonna say, well, we can pull your child because you broke the law. So we're like caught in a catch-22, which is kind of frustrating to me as a parent, because I don't want the school to close. Another issue for me is, the governor was a staunch advocate for charters. At least that's what I thought he built his premise on, like that was one of his big topics. He was pro-charter. Well, what happened with that?
Political.
I mean, it's all politically motivated. We have State Representative Ferranti, like she was a campaign manager for Martha Coakley. What's up with that?
It's a little cozy.
I mean, it's another political thing that we just keep getting, a stumbling block that just keeps hitting us.
And since when has education become political? I never thought it was. I always thought education and political were two separate things until I enrolled my daughter in the
You know,
charter
if
school.
it wasn't political, though, we would have been offered space at Fuller School at the beginning of this whole thing, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this now. We would be in school,
And they'd be in the new building right now.
and they'd be getting money.
Another thing too, Amanda Cook had stated, she said, you know, this, quote, school serves, quote, a small number of students. Okay, well, you know what? Every single student in this community had the opportunity to go through a lottery. You had an opportunity to say, I want to put my child in there. It's a lottery system. That's the only way that we can make it fair and equal. If you chose not to, and I do have children in the public school system also, you know, my children don't fit it because of the age group, but I mean, we all had that opportunity. So I just was kind of concerned with that. Choice, yeah. Choice is the big thing that we've had.
And the Gloucester Public School System it works for a lot of kids, but it doesn't work for all the kids. And I think that there should be opportunities for kids that it doesn't work for. My son in particular, I had to pull him out in the middle of first grade because he was having a horrendous experience.
I don't disagree with you on that. I would
I'm
just
going to
say that
ask that we just let it be public comment rather than respond.
if the students have
Amanda?
I personally need to hear not to.
I know, but it's a time for public comment, not.
Okay, thank you.
So as I was saying, I mean, for me, I ended up pulling my son, he's in 7th grade now, I ended up pulling him out of the Gloucester Public School System when in the middle of first grade because he was in a horrendous situation. He hated school, and that was unacceptable to me. I can go on and on, other details that were going on, but I put him in a private school. I couldn't afford it. And I'm so glad that the charter school became available, and he's he's loving it here, he's thriving, and I'm not going any deeper in debt, and that's a good thing. And I think that there's, no child left behind should mean, even in the Gloucester public school system, there should be something for every kid. There shouldn't be just like a certain people who fit in this box get to be educated, and the rest of you, oh well, And having us in this situation with this ultimatum where we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't, it's just not fair. This whole situation has just been horrendous. I'm so disgusted.
I can't even imagine the look on my child's face if I have to tell him that the school isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very, very bad.
And what are we teaching our children? This is a valued lesson for our children. Where are the ethics involved when we say we did something wrong, when we don't say that we did do something wrong, they're just bullying us. It's a scare tactic.
No, we have to explain to them we're being bullied. That's what we have to explain. Bullying happens at all levels.
Yeah, I was going to ask, since there's a camera set up here, when people speak, maybe they should come up in front of the camera so it's just not a voice when it gets, does that make a difference to you? Or can you see people or just a voice when you put this up?
I think it's the voices. I don't think we need to get the spaces on.
Yeah, okay, because it's always nice to put a face to the voice, whoever that is. My name is Kathleen Daly, and I'm going to come around just because it's always nice to see everybody. And I'm a founding board member. I've been in this project for 4 years. I'm also a teacher. I'm a music teacher at the school at the moment. So let me tell you, let me just go back to Saturday. I was called on Friday night to come in to teach on Saturday because somebody else had been in a car accident and she couldn't make it. So I hemmed and hawed and said, of course I'll come, but I really didn't want to come. So when I came into school, this is what I saw. I saw one kid who got out of a car, all excited, come running up. He's a sixth grader who's all excited because he wanted to come to school on Saturday and his mother found a ride for him. It was a huge deal. Tony came up, I'm so excited I'm here. I'm so excited I'm here. All the rest of the kids, on Saturday, I happened to do dancing with them. Now, these are kids who love music, who love the arts. These are the artistic kids. Let me tell you, I hadn't danced with them yet this year because I've been doing guitar with them. They just went alive. They were dancing the Virginia Reel, and I thought, they're never going to go for the Virginia Reel. They're too old, too much older. These kids thrive in this type of an environment that lets them be who they are, accepts who they are, and says, yeah, kid, go for it. I just want to show you, because I was blown away from this gentleman here who I didn't know. I knew he was a parent, but he was just telling me about his son Dan, who I have in class, who, when we were doing dancing, Dan doesn't get everything in class. Guitar is really hard for him. He loves it, but he just hasn't gotten it yet. He was in dance the other day, doing the Virginia Reel. Boom, boom, boom. He had it, and he was dancing with everybody. And I just want to show you this picture, why the school is important, and schools like ours are important. And I hate to be a cheerleader, but I'm getting too old to take a whole lot more bullshit, excuse me, about life and about kids' education and what's best for kids. I'm here because I'm devoted to kids and I love them and I teach over in Hamilton. It's not my job, it's because I love it and that's what they should be getting. This was a picture and I'm blown away because I've seen this picture in my classroom for weeks now. And I quite honestly thought that someone had done it, and it's not. It's his son.
It's incredible.
His son. And quite honestly, when I saw it, it honestly took my breath away. Because number one, I didn't understand the child that way. Okay? That he had that brilliance in him. And I was first mad at myself, I didn't see it. And then when I see it, and I go, holy cow, holy cow. Could he be doing this at the O'Malley School? And then Then I'm listening, and his dad is telling me about if he was over at that school, where would he be